we discussed about autotrophic nutrition, right? So the nutrition in plants we discussed up to the last class. Then the second part of our lesson is heterotrophic nutrition. Yes, heterotrophic nutrition. So already we discussed at the starting of our class. Yes, in the first class of this lesson we discussed about what is heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is nothing but the organisms, and the organisms which can prepare their own food are called autotrophs, and the mode of nutrition followed by them is called autotrophic nutrition. That means they can prepare their own food materials by using the simple inorganic substances. But heterotrophic nutrition is nothing but the organisms which cannot prepare their own food materials, but they depend on other organisms for the food. Yes, so those are heterotrophic organisms, and the mode of nutrition followed by them is heterotrophic nutrition. Yes, so in this heterotrophic nutrition, the organisms, there are a wide variety of organisms are living on this planet, right? And the mode of acquiring the food is not same. Yes, so based on the mode of acquiring food and based on their food habits, yes, the nutrition also will be different. Yes, different types of organisms follow different types of nutritive methods. So what are the types of heterotrophic nutrition that we are going to discuss now? Holozoic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, and parasitic nutrition. Yes, so let us see what is holozoic nutrition first. Yes, holozoic nutrition that we already discussed. Yes, the taking of the engulfing the total food, that means taking the food into the body and digestion of that food inside the body. Yes, that means breaking down of the food material will be taken place inside the body. That means digestion will be taken place inside the body after eating. Yes, so there are several steps in holozoic nutrition. Let us see that. Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Yes, so if we take the human beings, yes, let us take human beings as an example. What we do while eating the food? First we inject the food. That means that is called, the process is called as ingestion. Yes, taking the food into the body. Then after that, digestion. Yes, the food will be digested inside the digestive system, that is inside our stomach and small intestine and large intestine, that will be digested. Yes, then absorption. The digested food, the energy from the digested food should be absorbed into the blood. Yes, so that is called absorption. Then assimilation. The absorbed food should be converted into energy. Yes, so that will be taken place in cellular respiration. Assimilatory powers will be formed in the cells. Then unabsorbed food, yes, which is not digested, undigested food. Yes, the food which is not digested in our body, so that will be remained as a waste material in our body. Yes, that should be eliminated outside, right? Yes, so that is the process of elimination, yes, that we call as excretion. Yes, here we follow as egestion. Yes, so these are all the steps involved in holozoic nutrition. So what is happening in this holozoic nutrition? Food, the complete food is taken inside, then that is absorbed inside the body. Yes, the waste material will be ejected outside. Yes, so this is holozoic nutrition. Yes, the first mode of nutrition in heterotrophic nutrition. Yes, so let us see this type of nutrition in amoeba and paramoecium. Yes, so let us start from the simple organisms, simple unicellular organisms. Yes, so amoeba, it is a protozoan. Yes, it is a unicellular simple organism. It doesn't have a definite shape also even. Yes, so it doesn't have a proper shape. Yes, there is no rule for drawing amoeba, right? So it can be drawn in any shape. Yes, so it has finger-like projections. It has finger-like projections like this. So these finger-like projections are called as pseudopodia. Yes, finger-like extensions or finger-like projections we call as pseudopodia, and these pseudopodia are used for their locomotion, nothing but for their movement. Yes, it is a marine organism. It lives in marine water, that means sea water. Yes, so it swims in the body, it swims in the water. Yes, for the swimming of the organism, these pseudopodia are useful. At the same time, it doesn't have the specialized structures for the digestion, and it doesn't have specialized structures for eating. That means to acquire food, to get food, it doesn't have a proper specialized structures in its body. Yes, so here the pseudopodia only used to locomotion, and pseudopodia are only used to collect the food, and pseudopodia also can be used for excretion of the food. Yes, so it is a total body of the organism. That means single cell, it is only one cell. Yes, inside the cell the total digestion will be taken place, and every life process will be taken place just within the single cell. Yes, so that is why it is a simple organism, simple unicellular organism. Yes, whenever there is food, then what happens, these finger like projections will overlap here. Yes, they extend more and they completely engulf the food. Yes, these finger like projections totally engulf the food, and the food will be taken into the body. Yes, the food will be taken into this cell, right? So then whenever the food enters into the body of amoeba, yes, that will be converted into a food vacuole. That forms a food vacuole, and inside the food vacuole the digestion process will be completed, and then this food vacuole will be ruptured and the total food will be thrown into the cytoplasm of the amoeba. Yes, just by the diffusion process. What is diffusion process? Distribution of the substances from higher concentration to lower concentration is called as a diffusion. So here the food is at higher concentration, food is more here, and in the remaining parts of the cytoplasm there is less amount of food. So what happens here? From higher concentration of the food to lower concentration, what will happen? Food will be distributed. Yes, so through the simple process which is called diffusion, the digestion will be taken place, and that will be distributed to every part of the cell of this amoeba, right? So here the digestion and everything, so here digestion is taking place inside the single cell, right? Yes, the digestion is taking place inside a single cell. So that is why this type of digestion is called as intracellular digestion. Inside cellular cell, inside the cell the digestion is taking place. So this is called as a intracellular digestion. So the waste materials also will be collected. Yes, somewhere, if it is the waste material, yes, it has come near the surface, then what happens here? Suddenly here it will be ruptured again. Yes, it will be ruptured, the pseudopodia and the surface will be ruptured, and it will be moved outside, it will be thrown outside. The waste material will be thrown outside. This is egestion. Yes, so ingestion and digestion will be taken place. The ingestion will be taken place by the pseudopodia. Yes, next digestion will be taken place inside food vacuole. Then after that absorption is a simple process. Yes, through the diffusion process it will be absorbed into the total cytoplasm. Yes, then that will be assimilated. Next, the waste material, egestion will be taken place through the pseudopodia again. The waste material will come to the surface of the body, and there the pseudopodia with the surface will be, suddenly it will be ruptured and the waste material will be moved outside, thrown outside into the water. So this is digestion in amoeba, digestion process in amoeba. Next, another unicellular organism is paramoecium. So it has a proper shape. So amoeba doesn't have a particular shape, but paramoecium has a particular shape. It is also a protozoan and it is also a single cellular organism, but here it has a particular shape. Paramoecium has a particular shape. It has a slipper shape. It has shape of a slippers, and its body is totally covered by, the total body is covered by hair-like structures. These are all hair-like structures. All these hair-like structures are called as cilia. And what is the use of this cilia? For the locomotion process, for swimming process, and for movement of this organism inside water, these cilia are useful. Yes, and it has here in case of amoeba, there is no particular place where the food enters. Yes, so pseudopodia can engulf the food wherever it can be, but here it has a particular place for the taking, for the ingestion of food. Yes, it has oral groove. It has a oral groove where the food can be entered into the organism. Yes, so oral is nothing but mouth. Oral pore or oral groove, we can say. It is just like a groove. Yes, it is just like a groove, or we can call it as oral pore also. Yes, so here the food can be entered into the parameecium into the cell. That means here, if whatever the food is present here or wherever the food is present, then with the help of cilia they'll push the food. Yes, cilia will push the food materials towards the oral groove, and here through the oral groove the food will be entered into the body, enters into the body of parameecium, and here as soon as it enters into the parameecium, yes, then the food will be converted into a food vacuole. It will be converted into food vacuole and the digestion process will be taken place. Yes, and after digestion, then here through the diffusion process, through the simple diffusion process, as like in amoeba, here also the food will be distributed throughout the cytoplasm by the process of diffusion. Right? Then after that the waste material, so here the digestion process and diffusion process will be taken place, then the waste material will be present inside the food vacuole and that will be taken near the anal pore. It has specialized anal pore. Yes, it has oral groove to take the food and it has anal pore to eject the undigested food. Right? So here near the anal pore the food vacuole will be taken. Yes, and from here the waste food material will be thrown outside. So here this is the process how the digestion takes place inside unicellular organisms like amoeba and parameecium. So these two are protozoans and these two are unicellular organisms. Yes, so here in these two the intracellular digestion will be taken place. Okay, these are simply single celled organisms and inside that cell only the digestion process takes place. That is why this is called as intracellular digestion. Saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition includes the organisms, they do not follow all these steps. Yes, they do not inject the food, they do not digest the food inside the body. First they break down the food outside their body. After digesting the food outside their body, and they take the food what amount of food they require. Right? So here in the saprophytic nutrition, in the holozoic nutrition, what is happening? All the organisms, holozoic organisms, are taking the food inside their body, then after that they are digesting the food inside the body. But here the saprophytic organisms, they do not inject the food into their body. Yes, so just they digest the food first, then after they absorb. They take the food directly after digesting them outside their body, just like bread molds, yeast, yes, mushrooms. These are all saprophytic organisms, and all those are also called as scavengers or recyclers. Right? So next, another type of nutrition is parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition includes, so what is mean by parasite? Parasite is the one which cannot prepare its food. Yes, it lives completely on the host. Yes, so the parasitic nutrition includes the organisms, they do not prepare their own food and they completely dependent on other organisms. Without killing them, they get the food from those organisms directly. The digested food they absorb from those organisms. They don't do any types of work. Yes, they don't take the food and they don't digest. Yes, they don't do any type of work in getting the food. Directly they go upon a host or a host plant or host whatever the host organism, and they feed upon them and they directly absorb the digested food from the host. The example are lice, some leeches which suck the blood from the animals. Yes, and some plants, parasitic plants are also present. The example for parasitic plant is dodder plant. Example for parasitic plant is dodder plant. So these all parasitic organisms, they cannot do any type of work in digesting the food and in acquiring the food. Yes, they directly absorb the digested food from other organism. Yes, so these are parasitic organisms. The examples are leeches, lice, and the plants, parasitic plants are also present, just like dodder plant. So the dodder is a plant. Yes, it is one of the species. Yes, and it belongs to a family called convolvulaceae. Yes, this family is also called as morning glory family. Yes, so in this convolvulaceae family, it belongs to a species called cuuscuta. So the dodder plant belongs to a genus called cuuscuta. Yes, in this cuuscuta genus, there are 170 twining species. There are 170 twining species. Twining species are nothing but just creeping plants which contain the slender twining stem, yes, which can creep and which can crawl around, which can twine around another plant, yes. So they do not have the strong stem, they have the very slender stem, yes. So let us look into this. In this genus Cuuscuta, yes, there are 170 twining species. Out of 170 species, yes, we are discussing about only dodder plant. So here, how the dodder plant is present, let's see that. So it is stem. The stem of dodder plant is slender, it is not strong, that much strong, yes. So it is its color might be yellow, orange, pink or brown, yes. The stem color might be yellow, orange, pink or brown, and the leaves will be reduced to minute scales. The leaves are reduced to minute scales, and the flowers are like clusters in the nodules. The flowers are present like clusters, and those are made up of yellow or white bell-like petals, yes. So the flowers are present as clusters in the nodules, and those are made up of yellow or white bell-like petals, yes. So it is about the structure of a dodder plant, yes. Then why does it do this parasitic action, and what is the reason for the parasitic action done by this dodder plant? It is a non-photosynthetic organism. It cannot prepare its own food, yes. It cannot even prepare its food, and it completely depends on other plants for its food, yes. So here let us take, it is one tree, and it is a strong one, yes. This we call as host plant. We call it as a host plant. Then our dodder plant is guest for this. Guest is nothing but parasite, yes. It is a guest, it goes there, yes. It normally it goes as a guest onto that plant, and it settles there completely, yes. So that is parasitic plant, right? So let us take the parasitic plant. Here's the seed. The seed is fallen here, it is a ground. Let us take imagine that is the ground, yes, the soil. Here the seed has been germinated. The seed is fallen here, the seed of dodder plant is fallen here, yes, and it germinated. Then when it germinates, yes, the small plant will be grown. It's a dodder plant has been grown. Then it creeps like this, and it finds one plant. Then slowly it twines around the plant. It goes onto the branches and every part of the plant. Then as it grows, then here whenever it germinates, so there a shoot will be formed, yes. At the same time, an anchoring root will be formed. What is the main use of this anchoring root? It gives support to the shoot, it gives support to the plant. It doesn't absorb any nutrients from the soil. The anchoring root of dodder plant doesn't absorb any nutrients from the soil, just it gives support, just like an anchor for a ship. It gives support to the plant, yes. So then when it finds a host plant, then it twines around the host plant. When it settles on the host plant, then what happens here? Then it needs food, right? It cannot prepare its own food, but it needs food. Then it injects its roots, yes. If it is the dodder plant, then it forms some roots, and these roots will be inserted into the host plant, yes, into the stem or branch of the host plant, yes. Some of the roots will be inserted. This group of roots is called as Hastoria. This group of roots are called as Hastoria, and through these roots, this dodder plant can absorb the food material from the host plant, yes. The host plant it is a photosynthetic plant. Host plant is the photosynthetic plant. It absorbs the nutrients from the soil, and it prepares its own food, and it contains xylem as well as phloem, right? xylem and phloem. The host plant contains xylem as well as phloem. So xylem transports water from soil to every part of the plant body, and phloem transports the food from leaves to every part of the plant body. That means xylem contains water and phloem contains food, nutrients, right? Prepared food. So here Hastoria, through this Hastoria, this guest plant, parasitic plant, daughter plant, what it does, it is very interesting here. Yes, so it injects and it penetrates its roots, the Hastoria, into xylem and phloem of the host plant. Yes, so from the xylem of the host plant it absorbs water, and from the phloem of the host plant it absorbs nutrients. So whatever it needs, it is getting from the host plant. So there is no need of that plant to perform photosynthesis, as it settles on this plant. By inserting Hastoria into, by penetrating Hastoria into the host plant's body, is then here the anchor root will be rotten. Yes, that will be given off. Then it will be the plant will be totally settled on this host plant. Yes, that means daughter plant will be totally settled on this host plant. Then it with its size and its length will be increased. Then if there is another plant here, then it will be extended to another plant also. Even it will be extended to, it finds another plant and it grows in that manner. Yes, that means here what is happening here, this daughter plant, this parasitic plant, is not even preparing its own food, and it is completely depending for water as well as food materials, that means nutrients, for these nutrients on the host plant. From the host plant it is absorbing water and nutrients. Yes, so that is about parasitic nutrition. In the same manner, some other animals are also there. Just like leech, it sucks the blood of animals, and lice, yes, that lives in the head of human beings, in the hair of the human beings, and as well as in the hair on the body of some of the animals. Yes, those are also, they cannot prepare their own food. And even mosquitoes are also parasites, right? Yes, female mosquitoes, they cannot prepare their food. Yes, they simply they will suck our blood. Yes, these are all which cannot prepare their own food, the organisms which cannot prepare their food and completely dependent on host for their food, yes, which completely absorb the food, the digested food from the host. Those are called as parasitic organisms, right? In the next class we will discuss about nutrition in human beings.